All right, guys, it's been a while, but welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to Gaming Compute. Doing a quick little holiday tidbits. We talk about side hustles, finances, but also you've probably noticed, I try to add a bit of information and thought-provoking content related to mostly, sorry, I'm blanking on words. The aspects that contribute to spending and making money and feeling comfortable and happy and pleasant while doing those things. So holidays come, they come and go. I think for many people, whether or not you participate in Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or New Year's Eve or almost anything along those topics, you probably notice that there's a lot to think about. All right, so I had to pause. I was talking slow because you guys know how I feel about recording with people hearing me. So I'm home for the holidays. It's just me and my mom, my brother, dad, sister. They are all in separate places, and because of the Rona, they didn't really feel up to traveling, which is understandable. But for me, it's just a couple-hour drive, so I was like, let me just come chill at my family's house, and in the morning I'll see if the roads are clear. I'm gonna wake up at 6:30 and go snowboarding. Hope to get there by 8:30. I don't know if I'll make it by first chair because I still have to change and everything, but that might be the most ideal way to get up there. 2 hours from this house, snowboard probably till lunch, and then 2 hours back home to my place. So that'll end my holiday weekend. So, all right. What I was trying to say before I got distracted, interrupted. Holidays can be a time where people experience joy, the pleasantries of, family life and catching up. And sometimes it's like there's stress about it too. There's the pressure of the financial, the traveling, the lack of sleep, the weird routine changes, and, changing up your diet, changing up your exercise routine. So I think these are things that are important to look at, right? Because if we're trying to make it so that, okay, I have a side hustle that I'm working on, and I'm, trying to get into, being very motivated and staying motivated, and, but the holidays, what happens is there's a build up to the holidays, and then there's the holidays themselves, and then there's the kind of wind out of the holidays, and then there's just eventually you have to go back to school or work or get back into your regular lifestyle, and it's a lot of times people don't feel rested either. So there's all these complications that can come with the holidays. Even though it can be fun, it can be nice to travel, get out, do something different, catch up, bond with people. Some people enjoy getting gifts and all these kind of things, or giving gifts. And, I'm glad that my family's chill. We don't really do a whole lot of gifts, maybe one gift each. And then what I started doing is getting souvenirs during the year. If I go somewhere or do something, I'm just kind of having people on my mind and just I'll get you something. at this place that you've probably never been, that's something that you'll never get anywhere else, like usually like a local craft of some sort, like some little handmade thing by locals, like a decorative sort of small token of affection that's just something that's, I was thinking about you in April, this is your Christmas gift. Literally, that's what I did. But yeah, it can be a lot of pressure for a lot of people, if you're dating someone new or if you're meeting family for the first time. There's a lot of pressure to try to impress people, to try to, give people what you feel like they want or need, or, things like that. And if you have financial goals, it can be a little challenging. It's the end of the year. You have things coming up like, maybe your work contributed a percentage to your retirement, which can be awesome. Maybe you had to take out loans for gifts and travel, or, get some sort of credit, maybe you used more credit. I mean, these are common things. I'm talking about common things that come up end of the year. People trying to think about their fitness and their exercise routines and trying to change that up for the start of the year with their health and everything. And then you have, taxes, all your, tax related things coming up in the year too. And all the warnings about it and all the, information about it. I start seeing it in my bank, account and getting stuff in the mail. It's like, oh my gosh, like, it's not just the holidays, there's a lot attached to the end of the year. There's a lot of pressure. So what can help really is to, plan. I mean, it might sound stupid, but plan in advance. Plan what you feel like you need for yourself. So certain things, for example, that I know I need to sleep well. I need to eat healthy. I need to get some exercise, some fresh air. When I come home and I visit family, we're in the house watching TV. Like, those of you who know me, I don't have a television in my own place. When I want to watch something, I log in online and I type in what I want to watch and I watch just that. I'm not bombarded with commercials or advertisements or anything that doesn't need to be filling my head. I am only watching what I choose to watch, what I've begun to watch, what I've searched out for myself to view, what I'm interested in for that time, and then I'll finish watching that and then move on. Sometimes I'll get down a rabbit hole, things will get recommended to me, but my YouTube, I actually pay for YouTube because I don't like advertisements. It's worth it to me to not know what to buy. I feel like I save more money by paying a monthly subscription than I would if I was getting advertised to about things that, I might want to impulsively purchase that I didn't even know existed, and I don't usually even need any of them. So that's kind of what I've learned. It's like, for me, it's like pay the $10, pay the $15, whatever. I probably would have bought some weird apps or some strange, thing that somebody advertised to me through some, marketing type of thing. I probably would have purchased a couple extra things per month, or one or two things, every so often. Anyways, and, I listen while I drive and stuff too. And so it can really be helpful to have something in the background, listening to podcasts and listening to videos. I'll make like a whole playlist of videos to listen to. Like when I go to the mountains tomorrow, I'll just put a whole playlist together and I'll just let it play on. And for me, that's a lot easier than, having to listen to all these advertisements and commercials. So it's hard for me when I come home. We're just sitting around the couch and eating chips and eating cookies and eating cake and eating candy and sleeping and, sleeping at weird hours and all this kind of stuff. Like, there's certain stuff I know I need these basics under control, or else I'm going to be groggy and grumpy and not want to be around people, not want to socialize and not want to interact. And, I have a room here. Like, I don't pay rent, but it's like, my childhood room is still available. So when I do come home, I have a place to crash and sleep and just kind of shut the door and just be alone if I feel like being by myself. So, it's, I can definitely relax, and I try to spend a couple hours, doing something with family, and then I'll relax for a little while. Then I'll do that again, like come out and like have a couple hours with family, then I'll go back and relax. And I try not to be too overwhelmed with just the socializing and the interacting and the talking and the catching up and all, it's just like, geez, I just need a breather. Because the worst thing is when you get overwhelmed by the holiday madness and then you come back to work and you're like, I don't feel refreshed at all, and I'm broke, and I got a bunch of stuff that's almost junk that I don't really want or need. So it's kind of like, okay, like, let's not, like, let's just not do that. Yeah. So that's one method, is to plan in advance kind of where you want to be, what you want to do, what you feel like you need for yourself, and be able to have a method to be able to do that, to recoup, recover, and not get like so worn down. When it comes to shopping, I mean, I know it's a personal thing. It's individual, person to person. Everybody's got their own family, friends, their own method of doing things. But before I talk about the spending and buying and purchasing stuff, let me talk real quick about the people who don't really participate in the holidays. It can be stressful for those crowds as well because, it disrupts people's lives, when they're like, I just want to go to the mall and buy a couple t-shirts. I don't want to like stand in line forever and like drive around looking for parking and fight for parking and pay parking fees and wait in these long lines and interact and have all these people in my way. You just want to go. So a lot of times it can be stressful if you're not even, well, that happens for everybody, but it's stressful too for the people, especially who don't even maybe want to participate. Like maybe if you're Jehovah's Witness and you're not, you don't participate in those holidays, or if you're, a Messianic Jew and you have different holidays that you follow, or a Christian that doesn't celebrate Christmas or any other religion, or not even a religion, and it's just not part of your culture, and you just don't celebrate Christmas, or you don't do it on December 25th, maybe you do it later in January or whatever, and it's like this time of year, you're stuck in more traffic than usual, you can't find parking anywhere, the lines are super long everywhere, things run out everywhere, every time you want to just run an errand, it's like, it takes like a little more thinking it through. Like, okay, what time can I leave? Is there going to be traffic? Is there going to be parking? And is there going to be a line? And, just, depending where you live too, it's like, it can be stressful because it's like, it disrupts pretty much the time from Thanksgiving to like January 1st. Your whole life is pretty much disrupted for a little bit over a month. You're kind of just like, wow, like like a month and a week or so, you're just like, man, like I just want to like, relax after work. I want to go to the gym after work, but my gym's at the mall and the mall's always crowded. Just parking sucks, and like, you go to the gym near January and everybody's in the gym that doesn't usually use the gym, so that it's hard to get the machines you want or like the equipment you're looking at. And people are just like sitting there on their phones, like texting. And it's like, dude, you're not even working out. Like, move, But it's like, yeah, it's stuff like that. It can be a little bit frustrating. These are the things that frustrate me anyways. People are grumpy when they're out and about with their kids or right after work and stuff. And they feel the pressure, And so even if you don't participate in the holidays, it might still be impacting on you because, these things are just like happening and coming up, and you might just be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to like deal with all this stuff. I don't want to like have to deal with all these people. And then, if you're cautious about Rona, it's like, okay, not only am I dealing with all these people, like now it's like the social distancing and the lack of staff that are even working right now. And it's like everything takes so long. I think I mentioned once I went to Denny's after the gym once after work or something. And like, I don't know if I was working or if I was off work, but I remember going to Denny's And I was like, all right, I'm just going to order the food after my workout. And then when I get there, it'll be prepared. I get there, they didn't even have my order put in yet. And I was like, well, I guess maybe that's almost for the best. Because at least, because I showed up a little bit late. So I was like, well, at least when I get there, it'll be like ready. Well, it'll be like hot, because they're preparing it literally when I got there. So I had to wait an extra like 20 something minutes, 30 minutes. And the people who walked in right in front of me, they told them, okay, we're not even taking seating for the next 30 minutes, just to let you guys know, because like they're short staffed. And so like those people weren't going to get seated for 30 minutes. And I come in like, oh, thank God I ordered my food in advance. And then I get there and it's like, I still have to wait 30 minutes just like everybody else. So it's like, all right. So stuff like that. That's just like this time period, with everything going on, it's just so strange. It's super strange and weird. But yeah, I've been trying to, focus, I know it's like right in the middle of Christmas when I'm recording this, but it's like, this might still apply to a lot of people, it's like there's still the trips and the stuff that you still have to do to get back home and all that. And sometimes it's like, a little planning in advance, go to the store, buy some Cliff Bars, get some protein shakes, get some waters, get some extra stuff that you can just kind of have on hand so you don't end up buying a whole bunch of extra food all the time. You can keep it in the car. I don't know what the weather's like where you guys live, but it's like, have snacks handy, have food handy, have stuff on you that's cheap, affordable, easy to just kind of get to. If you're stuck in traffic, you have a granola bar there. If you're a little hungry and you're like, I need to go, I have to go shop for groceries because we're making dinner or something, and like, but I'm hungry and like you don't want to stop by McDonald's or something, like just have a Cliff Bar, like it'll hold you over for quite a length of time. It's not like super healthy, but it's like it's healthier than like a lot of other choices you might get. And, the reason why I mention all these health things with like exercising and eating is because that's going to affect your mood. That's going to affect your time together. If you are spending time with other people, it's going to affect you, emotionally too. And then the stress, and, trying to get things perfect because, nothing's going to go perfect. And I hope that everybody has understanding and supportive and nice, kind, gentle, compassionate people in their lives. But I know during the holidays too, people come and it's stressful, and you might have family that you have, maybe they have really poor boundaries, and you're just like, now I gotta deal with this family with their stupid boundaries, and like they're not fun to be around, and like they're pushing my buttons, and people want to argue or bring up sensitive topics and get all up in your business. Like sometimes, and if you have family, like maybe if you're sober and you have family that likes to use substances and things like that, and you're just like, sometimes, being with family or friends can be a great thing. Other times it can be stressful, but don't let any of this stuff affect your goals, your financial goals, your side hustle goals. For those of you out there with the side hustles, you might want to look at certain things, certain trends around the holidays, things that you notice are, of interest, hot commodities, batteries, things that like, people kind of are having a hard time getting their hands a hold of. You might want to kind of pick up some stuff along those lines. And there's just a lot. I know it's a lot. It's a lot. It's like back to back. Like Thanksgiving isn't super easy for people who do that. And then it's like from Thanksgiving to the New Year, you're just kind of busting your chops, just trying to get things going. And it can be very financially heavy on a lot of people. It can be emotionally heavy. It can be socially heavy with loneliness and stress from other people and boundaries and, If you feel like emotionally like you're having a hard time, you need some me time, you need some self-care time. It's good to find out before, or to even reflect when you first wake up in the morning and think like, what was it, like in a kind way, like what was it that I didn't really get done yesterday, that I could do that would contribute to me feeling pretty good today. Just kind of talk yourself through it, be gentle. But when it comes to the spending, I mean, sometimes it honestly helps to have a conversation with your loved ones. I mean, I've done this before and it helped. It worked wonders to just know that, it's not about the gifts. It's not about the money spent and all that. And once we all realize that we're all on the same page, that we just want to hang out and have a good time and make some good memories, that it wasn't about who got what or who spent how much money and who got this much stuff for this person or anything like that, it became so much less stressful. It's like all we need to do is get into the same location now. And that was basically the goal. Get to the same location, have a good time, everybody be pleasant, try to manage yourselves, try to be civil. And otherwise, we weren't really doing a whole lot of other things. And so, we watch some sports. We usually watch the Lakers. We watch some sports. We interact like that. And it's a good time. So for me, the holidays, the stress part comes in when it's like, if I have to go to the store or gas prices are super astronomically expensive, things like that. It's like, okay, there's not much we can do about this, but it's no longer, an issue to be just enjoying myself. You can sleep in a little bit, eat some food, hydrate. I don't really overspend, so that's nice. I'm not forced to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on people who can buy their own stuff, really. I mean, my whole family can purchase their own things. We keep it simple, we keep it easy. Like I mentioned, I got souvenirs for people. We keep it real easy. Sometimes my sister's into photography. She'll take pictures and frame them for people, and nice keepsake stuff that you keep, and it's beautiful and it's nice and it's really cool. But it's yeah, we don't spend a whole load of money. In the past few years, I don't think I've spent more, other than gas and travel expenses. I don't think I've spent more than probably $50 on Christmas. And that's a high estimate. If I get a max of 6 or 5 gifts, I'm barely spending $50. So, that to me is fine, because it's not overextending myself. It doesn't get in the way of my my budget or anything, and it's doable. And I get stuff throughout the year. Like I said, I went on a snowboard trip to Taos, New Mexico, and they had a lot of local crafts that people had made, their little craft shops with pottery and things like that. And I got people little handmade little decorative pieces that you can either put on necklaces, or little shot glass things that you can just kind of put up, little mini pottery type things. Just little pieces of stuff that's if you're traveling, it'll fit in a bag. It doesn't cost me a lot of money, and it's something that I can't just buy it at a store over here. It's individual, made, somebody made it by hand. And so stuff like that to me is really cool. Does my family need any of this stuff? No. Are they even going to use it? Probably not. But it's well, if they're not going to use it anyways, and I'm spending money that they could spend on themselves anyways, it's I might as well just find something a little bit on the unique side that has something to do with my life too. That's oh, I was thinking about you, but I was on this trip. closing of the season 2020, I was snowboarding at the resort in Taos, and we went kind of like looking around the town and found some cool stuff. Me and my friends found some cool like local shops and stuff to get souvenirs at and stuff. And those souvenirs, I was like, yeah, this is the first day of April and I'm thinking about Christmas. I'm just like, all right, like I'm gonna get you guys gifts from here, and I have those as the gifts. And that was my Christmas shopping, and I did it all at one place all at once, and then it was solid for the rest of the year. I didn't have to think about it. So pre-planning helps. If you're lucky to have family and friends that aren't too that don't care too much about like how much you spend or how fancy or new or like exciting the gifts are, that helps too. I mean, you can't like force that on people, but it does help if you have people like that in your life. And then also pre-planning, like seasonal things. I'm into snowboarding, so that's a seasonal sport. I'm in Southern California, so as you know, we have a beach culture. We're more like beach, hike, city, but we do have a lot of nature too. And I laugh and say you can go surfing and snowboarding in the same day out here. Like, it's true. Like, the mountains are like a couple hours away without traffic. It's like 100 miles to get to the mountains. Either from my parents' house or from my place. Like, either way, it's 100 miles. So I got this like 2-hour triangle. Either way, it's like I'm driving 2 hours. But yeah, I get season passes, and just, then it's like my sports are planned out, my gym's paid every month, and then, I work out at the gym so that I can get to the mountains and snowboard and have a good time and be fit for the sport. Excuse that. But yeah, that's kind of how it goes for me. That's kind of how, it's a little personal look into my own holiday festivity situations. But it helps to not have too many demands, too much stress, too much things just kind of like dragging you down. And so that when you come into the new year and you're like, okay, now the plan is to get money to recover all the money that I spent, because it's not about money spent. And I know people say that, and I know it's easy for me to say. I say it's easy for me to say because I don't really it's easy for me to say because I've had those conversations with family and friends and with people that, everyone kind of knows. It's not that I don't care. I'm not, not buying you expensive things because I don't care. I'm just not doing it because I just don't do it. It's part of my own beliefs that it's like, everyone I know who works buys stuff for themselves all year long, right? And so for me to guess and buy somebody something that they could have purchased for themselves or saved to purchase themselves and purchase that out of my money for something that they don't need, for me, it's kind of like one of these things that's just, I mean, I get it, and I'm not like uncaring, and I'm not like greedy, but at the same time, it's like the thought behind it is like, why overextend yourself, when you really, if it's something that's going to be too overwhelming. And so I feel like that is something that, that conversation should often happen. I'm glad when people are able to have those conversations with people in their lives, because I think it does create a very stress-free or minimal stress environment to be able to be like, look, I'm being responsible on this end for my other stuff. I'm working on me. I'm working on my own goals. I got my own stuff going on. I did think of you. I did get you something, but, I'm not buying you like a brand new Beamer or like a, something that's like, now I'm going to be in debt because of this gift. And it's not really about the purchases that people are going to love you or anything. It's like, I know some people's love language is buying stuff. Some people's love language is getting like nice gifts and stuff. But sometimes it does take a conversation. If you're overwhelmed by it, it might take a conversation with somebody who kind of has really high demands and expectations, and just be like, hey, I'm not trying to be cheap. I'm not trying to be broke, but like this is like not helping me emotionally or financially, and it's becoming more of a burden and a challenge. So sometimes it just takes a conversation and people get it. My friends know when I come for Secret Santa, I don't do the gift thing or whatever. Like, I'll bring food, I'll participate in the little food games and stuff, but I don't really do gifts. I mean, like, I've kind of stopped doing that. If I want to buy somebody a drink or get somebody a gift during the year, I'll do it. But, I try not to do the whole, like, spend so much money at the end of the year. I love watching people get presents. I love watching people open gifts and being all excited and, like, figuring out how to use something brand new, and, like, the excitement of something new and somebody thought of them. One of my friends was telling me he got this cool, like, virtual reality thing and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, it's great. That's awesome. I'll come over and check it out sometime. Not today. Maybe next time I'm in town. But, yeah, I overall, would prefer to just spend time with people. And it does help to know other people's love languages and their expectations. I mean, people know me as, if you invite me somewhere, if I don't already have plans, I'm usually just going to say yes. And I'm usually going to show up. I'm quite reliable, and I'll spend time with you. I'll talk with you. We can talk on the phone. We can hang out in person. I make time for people, but I'm not very likely to be buying people stuff unless it's like, oh, we're out. I'll pay for dinner. I'll pay for drinks. Like, I'll pay the cover or whatever, and it's stuff like that where it's like, I'll pay for like little stuff like that. But I don't really tend to, just start like buying stuff for people, because it's not in my goals financially to be just like buying a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, like, I'm not trying to break the bank. I've got other financial goals, stuff I'm trying to pay for, money I'm pumping into projects and stuff like that. And if I'm spending hundreds of thousands of dollars at the end of every year from like November to January, I'm not going to be able to recover that for a couple months, and then, I'll start the year off in recovery, recovering, from all of that. So, I hope that didn't sound too depressing or like down, but that's just kind of, I know the holidays can be a stressor for people. And so if you're stressed, this is one method to look at things, because you can get through it. Sometimes it takes a little bit of a conversation, but you can still find ways to do stuff that's fun where you don't spend a whole lot of money. You can have game nights, play some dominoes, play some card games, play some, like Jackbox games, stuff like that, where you're just interacting and doing stuff together and stuff that you wouldn't normally do during the year. You can still make it special and keep it simple and take it easy and have fun. So, yeah, guys, I hope that helps. Hope you're enjoying. I hope everybody's having a happy holiday season. Hanukkah has been over for a bit now. If you celebrate Saturnalia or Christmas or the commemoration of the birth of Jesus, or, Christmas in January, if you're in some places in Europe, or Kwanzaa on the 26th, starting on the 26th, and, whatever your holiday is, or if you have a non-holiday, you're just celebrating life and the fact that it's December. A lot of places it's snowy and rainy right now, so I don't know, depending on what your lifestyle and life is like. That might be exciting for you. That might be a burden. But, yeah, guys, everybody has the right to be happy, to work on their goals, to do the things that they feel like, bring them joy, and, hang in there, have fun, make some good memories, take some pictures and videos, and, share them with your friends and family and stuff. And yeah, that's it for now. Until next time, thanks for listening.